We have come to a very interesting part of this series. The part where I start actually building something that you can extend on and practice and try your hands on. On the left side of the screen is my text editor, and on the right is my terminal for running the code. I'm going to just write a simple hello world, so we are sure our environment is properly working. Hello world. Let's save that. Of course, I'll save it on my desktop and call it. I'm not entirely sure what we are building yet. Let's call this app1, and then let's run this code. And you see it says hello world, which is fine. That's not what we want. Now there is something I have not mentioned, which I'll be using here. It's a way for me to receive input from users. Say I want to receive the username before they enter my application. I can say username equals input. This is me asking them to enter something. What is your username? And whatever it is they enter after they see this question will be saved inside the username variable. Now I can even drop this down. Let's not do that yet so we don't complicate things. I'm going to run this, and it says what's your name, and I can enter my name here. Nothing happens, of course, but let's just print that name out so we are sure it's actually being saved. So again, I'll run the code. Don't forget to save before running so you don't run into, and then you see my name is printed out here. So the next thing I want to do, rather than just printing out the name, is see when I run this code now, you can see that it's asking for my name, and then I have to enter the name right in front here. I don't want that to happen. I want the name to be entered on the next line. So I'm going to do this. Sorry, that's N. That will drop to the next line. Let's try it. Let's run the code. And as you can see, it says, what is your username? And then it appears on the next line. This way, I can enter my name and then it prints it out. So it's clearer this way and people know what they're expected to do. And the cursor is there blinking. Right, so I have my username. Let's ask for password. So what we are trying to build is just your password. It's just a simple application that checks username against password and then logs them into a system. We can then present some options to them in that system. So what we are going to do is to check if username. First, let's create a list and say our database of users. Oh, this is too long. Allowed users. Yeah, that's fine. So we have a list of users that are allowed to use the system, and the first one is Seyi, that's me, is allowed to use the system, and the second one is Mike, is also allowed to use the system, and Love is also allowed to use the system. Now each of them also have their password. So what I'm going to do is to just have a generic password for them right now. So each of them have the same password, and password allowed password is, because I don't want to complicate things yet, is password with capital P. With capital P. So what we have done is to create a receive name. Let's make this name rather than username, because really they are names. And then receiving password. Our password is static for now, and our name, we have a list of names that are allowed to use the system. So what we first need to do is to check if the name they gave us is actually allowed to use the system before asking them to enter password. So if the name is allowed to use the system, then we ask them for password. Otherwise, we do not ask them for password. So let's come back up here and say if name in allowed users. So that means I need to move this up right here. So basically this is saying if the name that I've just been received is in this list of names, then move on to ask them for password. That means I need to also move this up here. Let's create a space in between this and this. Okay, so what we have done is to check if the name they are giving us is in the allowed users. If it is, then print this out, then ask them for password, and when they give you the password, check if the password they gave you is correct. If password is the same as allowed password, then print out you are now logged. Oh, I mean, this is too generic. Let's say welcome string format s, and then where is it, name. Okay, so the hope is that this doesn't throw any error. Now let's go over it again. I'm checking if the name they're giving me is inside the allowed names. If it is, I'm going to ask them for password. If it is not, however, I need to check, I need to have an else statement here that prints out name not found. Please try again. Okay, and then back to this place now. If the name is found, then I can go ahead and ask them for password. Whatever password they give me, I'm going to check if it is the allowed password. If it is not, then I need to actually tell them it is not. So else print password incorrect. Please try again. And then our system logs out. So let's try this and see if it works. So run the code. And it's asking me for my name. Let's try a bad name first. Name not found. Please try again. Now I have to run the code again. Okay, so I'm running the code again. It's asking me for my name. Let's enter a correct name. Now it's asking me for my password, and I'm going to enter my password. Let's enter the wrong password, and it says password incorrect. Please try again, like we expect. Let's run one more time, and I get to enter my name and then the correct password, and then it says welcome Seyi. That is my name. Right, so we've been able to basically build a very simple login system here. This is how it works basically. You just check username against password and check if everything is correct. On a normal circumstance, I'm not supposed to have a static password this way. Each user is supposed to have their own password. And so let's try to extend this system that we have just built and make it do a lot more than that. So what do you think we can add? Let's see, what can we add to this? We can have different password for different people. That would be very useful, right? Although it's, I mean, I don't think it will help us to really demonstrate what we are trying to demonstrate or to use the things we have learned, but it will still be very useful in this application. So let's create a list of acceptable passwords and say password Seyi, and then password Mike, and then password love. Okay, so we have a list of acceptable username, a list of acceptable passwords. First, I want to try something here. I'm going to say print allowed users dot index of Seyi. I'm trying to see, we've already used this while we used this while I'm going to cut this out just for now. We used the index of thing while learning the basics. So let's see, what is my name? Seyi, and then the index is 0. I'm going to try something else. Mike. Let me run that code again. Let's actually comment this out and run that code, and then I get 1. Okay, so that works. That works. So let me now explain what I'm just trying to do. Let's put this back. Apparently my color code is now gone for some reason. So I'll save this and just reopen it and see if that's okay. Let's close that and try to reopen it. Open file, that is this one. Yeah, it's now back. That's good. All right, so now what we want to do is, after I get their names, I would also need to get the position of their name in this list. So let's say another variable, position in list. That's not very descriptive. So let's say position name position in list. Okay, so I'm going to say like I did earlier, allowed users dot index of the name they just provided, and this is going to help me to check the password based on the position. I'm going to copy this so I don't have any issues later. Based on the position of their name. So let me try to explain this. I have a list containing different names. I have a list containing password that corresponds to each of those names. Each of them are in the same position in their respective list, and they are of the same size. So Seyi's password is at the same index position here. Mike's password is at the same index position here. We can kind of make it their IDs, something like that. So let's say, oh, this is actually very nice. Let's say user ID is going to be the index of their position, and then that's going to be what I will use to check for their password. So this is easy enough. This should actually work as we expect. So let's run the code and see. Run module. It's asking for my name. My name is Seyi, and then my password. Let's enter the correct password. So password Seyi, and it says welcome Seyi. Let's try it for Mike. Run the code again. My name is Mike. Name is found. What is your password? My password is password Mike, and that also works correctly. So let's enter one more try and enter the wrong password now and see if everything still runs well. So enter my name and then enter the wrong password, and I get password incorrect. Please try again. So basically we've been able to build a list, check the name on the list, check against another list, get the index of a particular list, and then produce. We've also used the string formatting here, and this is a very simple application, but I want us to extend it a little further by giving them options after the login. So let's come right here. After the login, I've printed out the login welcome message and then their name. So the next thing I'm going to do is to print out these are the available options. So let's do this and then print option 1, get withdrawer. This is like a typical I mean, it's not typical, but it looks like what you see in your ATM machine. Cash deposit, and then print 3 complaint. So now what you're going to do is to check whatever they enter. So let's say selected option to be equal to receive input from them and get the options they select. What? Please select an option, and then whatever option they select would allow us to do something. So if selected option, that's supposed to be selected option. Okay, that's not good. Let's format this properly. Right, so selected option, if selected option is 1, do something. else, okay, selected option, again, just paste it, is to do something else. Moving on, else, we have 3 options, but I think I'll prefer to check all the options. So selected option is 3, do something else, and then finally produce an error that says option invalid option selected. Print invalid option selected. Please try again. Now, as you can see, of course, I need to say something here. So let's print out something here. You selected, and then have my string format again, S, and say use the selected option variable. So you selected this option. I'm going to copy this same thing, bring it here, and then do the same here. Okay, I'm going to just adjust this just a little bit. Let's save this code and run it just one time to see if everything is still working properly. My name is Seyi, my password is password Seyi, and then I get welcome Seyi. These are the available options. Withdrawal, cash deposit, complaints. So select one, and then I say invalid. Oh, right, this says invalid option selected, which is fine. So let's see what the problem is. Let's see what the problem is. I'm going to take out this pass, and then let's check it again. It came right here and says invalid option selected. I'm going to run it just one more time. Seyi, password, password, Seyi, and then select one. It's still the same error, invalid option selected. Now, I'm not sure what the problem is yet, but let's just see if I can print this out. So print out, print the option selected, and let's just see what that brings out for us to help me to debug what the problem might be. So enter my name again, password Seyi, select one, and it actually prints out 1. However, so right now I'm not entirely sure what the problem is, but let's see if we can fix it together. Let's see if we can fix it together. I'm going to do a check here. So I expect this to be an integer. I'm going to do a check here, or probably just cast this as an integer. Okay, so let's run this one more time and see what we get. I get Seyi, my username, my password, and then right, so 1 is selected. That was the problem. Right, so what I've just done is to basically convert whatever it is that is being entered, because when they enter something from their keyboard, it's usually a string, so I need to convert it to an integer and then use that in my selection. Okay, so we've been able to go get this far. We have presented the options to the user. This should be uppercase, and then we have also undo this issue. So let's try it one more time and enter an option that is not available. So let's say Seyi, my name. There is a problem there. So let's just run this code again. I typed in the wrong thing. So Seyi, password Seyi, and then select option 2. Okay, I wanted to try an option that is not available, and it says invalid option selected. Please try again. And as you notice, it sends us back to the beginning of the program. Now, as we learn further in this course, you are going to learn how to loop back and try again instead of going back to the login and asking them to log in again. But I don't want to do that yet. So this is very easy. It's straightforward. You can then decide to extend this and say if they select one for withdrawal, ask them how much they want to withdraw, check their balance, and so on. In fact, I want you to do this. I'm asking you to try to do it. If they want to deposit, ask them how much they want to deposit, and then once they enter it, tell them deposit was successful. Then if they try to withdraw immediately, ask them how much they want to withdraw. If the withdrawal they are trying to do is more than their deposit, then throw an error. So please try to extend this. As we continue in the class, I'll probably extend this and build something more robust. But this is where we're going to be stopping for this particular, because we've been able to practice almost everything we've learned. We've practiced basically everything we have learned. Of course, you can still try your hands on other things.